The morning sun shined brightly on the gold trophy sitting on Max's wooden desk. Max was 16 years old, and for his whole life, he wanted to be the best. He sat very still and looked at his reflection in the shiny gold medal. His heart was still beating fast from the big championship game yesterday. In his mind, he could still hear the loud cheering of the crowd. He could still hear the sound of the whistle at the end of the race. To Max, this trophy was not just metal and plastic. It was the most important thing he had ever owned. It was proof that he was good enough. It was proof that all his pain and hard work were worth it. Max thought to himself, as long as I have this gold trophy, I am a winner. People will look at me and see someone successful. They will see someone who does not fail. But deep down, in a quiet corner of his heart, he was also a little bit afraid. He felt that if he did not have the trophy, he would be nobody. He felt that his value as a person was tied only to winning. He sat in his quiet room and held the trophy close to his chest. He felt the cold weight of it. He felt like he was finally heavy enough to stay on the ground and not float away into the world of not good enough. He had a big dream, and now he was holding it in his hands. But there was one thing more important than the gold medal itself. Max wanted his father, Tom, to see it. Max's father was a very quiet man. He worked long hours at a difficult job. Max wanted to see that special spark of pride in his father's eyes. He wanted to know that his father saw the early mornings, the sweat, and the tears. Max took a deep breath. He stood up slowly and walked toward the kitchen. He held the trophy with both hands, carrying it like it was a fragile glass heart. Max walked into the kitchen. The room smelled like coffee and old wood. His father, Tom, was sitting at the small table. Tom was a man of few words. He showed his love through steady actions rather than big speeches. He worked with his hands, and his eyes often looked tired from the long day. When he heard Max come into the room, he looked up from his papers. When Tom saw Max holding the gold trophy, his tired face changed. A big, warm smile came to his face. It was a slow smile that started at his mouth and reached all the way to his eyes. He stood up slowly and walked over to his son. He did not cheer, he did not scream. Instead, he put a heavy, steady hand on Max's shoulder. That hand felt like a warm blanket to Max. It felt like safety. "You did it, Max," Tom said in a low, kind voice. Max felt a big lump in his throat. He felt like he might cry because he was so happy. "I was scared I would lose, Dad," Max whispered. His voice was very small. "In the last few minutes of the game, I was so tired. My legs felt like lead. I thought I would let everyone down. I thought I would let you down. But I remembered what you told me. You told me to just keep my eyes on the very next step." Tom looked into Max's eyes with so much love and kindness. "I am proud of you because you worked hard, Max. I am proud of the boy who ran the race when no one was watching. I am proud of the boy who did not give up when it was hard. I did not need a piece of gold medal to know you are a champion. To me, you were a champion long before you won this." Max felt 10 feet tall. He felt like he had reached the very top of a mountain. In that moment, the bond between the father and the son felt perfect. Max felt that nothing in the world could ever go wrong. He felt that his life was finally perfect, just like the shiny, golden, unbroken trophy in his hands. Max wanted to put the trophy in the best place in the entire house. He went into the living room. He saw a high shelf above the fireplace. "That is the perfect spot," Max thought to himself. "Everyone who walks into this house will see it there." He pulled a heavy wooden chair over to the fireplace. He stepped up onto the chair, holding the trophy carefully with both hands. But his shoes were a little bit slippery from the grass at the park. As he reached up high to clear a space on the shelf, the chair moved a tiny bit. Max felt his balance go away. His heart jumped into his throat. He tried to grab the shelf with one hand, but his fingers slipped. The trophy fell. It felt like time slowed down to a crawl. Max reached out his arms, screaming "no" in his head, but he was too late. The trophy hit the hard stone floor of the fireplace with a loud, sharp, crashing noise. The gold runner on top snapped off at the waist. The marble base broke into many small, jagged pieces. The shiny metal was now scratched and bent. Max stood on the chair for a second, frozen in total shock. His world felt like it was ending. Then he dropped to his knees on the floor. He looked at the broken pieces and felt his heart break with them. "I am so sorry, Dad," Max sobbed. He could not stop the tears. Big, hot tears ran down his face and fell onto the broken gold. "I ruined it. I ruined everything. It was supposed to be perfect, and now it is just a pile of trash. I am such a failure. I can't even hold on to a trophy." Max felt a deep, cold pain in his chest. He felt that he had destroyed the only thing that made him special. He felt that the perfect version of himself was gone forever. He sat on the floor and hid his face in his hands, shaking with sadness. He was afraid to look at Tom. He was sure that the pride in his father's eyes was now replaced by disappointment. Tom did not get angry. He did not yell. He did not say, "Why were you not more careful?" He walked into the living room and saw the broken trophy on the floor. He saw his son crying on the ground. Tom did not pick up the broken parts right away. Instead, he did something Max did not expect. He sat down on the hard floor right next to Max. He sat there in the quiet for a long time, just being near his son. "Max, look at me," Tom said softly. Max shook his head. He was still crying. "It's broken, Dad. It's no good anymore. It's ruined, just like me. I'm not a winner anymore. I'm just the kid who broke the trophy." Tom reached out and touched Max's arm with his warm, rough hand. "A trophy is just an object, Max. It is made by a machine in a factory. It is made of metal and stone. Objects can break. But you are my son. You are a human being. You are not broken." Tom went to the kitchen and brought back a small bottle of strong glue and a tiny brush. He sat back down on the floor. "Help me," he said. Together, they started to pick up the pieces. Max's hands were shaking very badly, but Tom's hands were steady and calm. They spent the next 2 hours gluing the marble base back together. They worked slowly. They talked while they worked. Tom told Max stories he had never told him before. He told Max about the many times he had failed in his own life. He told Max about the jobs he did not get and the mistakes he had made when he was young. "Everything in this life has cracks, Max," Tom explained as he brushed a little glue onto the golden runner. "Look at this old house. It has cracks in the walls. Look at this table. It has scratches from years of use. Look at my hands. They have scars from years of work. Being strong does not mean you never break, Max. Being strong means you have the courage to pick up the pieces, put them back together, and keep moving forward. The cracks show that you survived." As they fixed the trophy, Max felt the heavy weight of guilt leaving his heart. He realized that the trophy was just a thing, but the time he was spending with his father on the floor was the most real thing in the world. He saw that his father loved him even when he was clumsy. He loved him even when he was not perfect. The repair was very slow, but it was a way for them to heal together. Max started to feel a different kind of strength, a strength that did not come from winning a race. The next morning, the trophy was back on the shelf. It was not the same as it was before the accident. You could see the thin, jagged lines where the glue had dried. You could see the small scratches on the gold metal. It was no longer a perfect object. It was a repaired object. But when the morning sun came through the living room window, something beautiful happened. The light hit the cracks in the trophy. Because of the glue and the way the light reflected off the broken edges, the cracks did not look ugly. Instead, they seemed to shine like bright golden stars. The trophy looked even more beautiful and more interesting than it did when it was brand new. It had a story now. Max stood in the living room and looked at it for a long time. He was not sad anymore. He realized that the trophy was now a symbol of his father's love. It was a symbol of the fact that failure is not the end of the world. He learned that the cracks in our lives are often where the light shines the brightest. He felt a new kind of pride. Not the pride of being the fastest runner, but the pride of being a son who is loved for exactly who he is. Max saw his father in the hallway, getting ready for work. Max walked over and gave Tom a very big, strong hug. He did not need to say a lot of words, and Tom did not need to say anything either. They both understood that they had built something together that was much stronger than gold. "See you later, Dad," Max said with a bright, happy smile. He picked up his school bag and walked out the door. He felt brave, he felt happy, and he felt strong. He knew that even if things break in the future, he has the love and the power to fix them. He walked into the morning sun, knowing that love, family, and courage are the greatest trophies anyone can ever win.